Welcome back to Parasocial Therapy, where we explore the lives of others through interrogative snapshots and reflective discussion. Today, we're speaking to Azzy, a creative from California. Question 1. Who are you? Where are you roughly from? And do you have any dreams or aspirations for the future? Azzy answers, I am Azzy from California, and I'm an openly queer and neurodivergent technical artist who mostly does game dev related technical art and graphics programming. My dreams and aspirations ultimately boil down to having new experiences, creating art, and spending time with people who are important to me. It's a bit simple, but I think experiencing new things and expressing experiences are some of my foundational values, whether I'm learning something or exploring, whether I'm consuming or creating art. Question 2. As I know you, you are a ruthlessly curious experimentalist in the field of technical art. Though it may be difficult to put into words, what do you think has drawn you to this field over the years? Azzy answers, what drew me into game development in the first place is that it's this sort of ultimate mixed media. There are so many different fields within game dev, ranging from non-technical and artistic fields to incredibly rigorous and mathematical technical fields, all sparking creativity in their own way, and coming together to form art that can be more than the sum of its many parts. Technical art and graphics programming felt really satisfying to me because they're fields where the incredibly artistic and technical sides of game development are inseparable. Technical art is an intersection of different kinds of creative disciplines, from art direction and artistic expression to technical problem solving and out-of-the-box thinking, all of which I find really enjoyable. Question 3. I've come to find that you are also excellent at finding people to connect with, especially in niche corners of the creative industry. You also seem to surround yourself with often underappreciated sources of inspiration. How important is community to you? Can you speak to how it has affected or influenced you over time? Azzy answers, community is super important to me. Art is ultimately a means of connecting with other people. To create art is to share something with the world, and the art that connects with me is the kind of art that inspires me to be a better artist. Like I said before, experiencing and expressing new things is very important to me, and art is the most beautiful language we can use to do those things. Art has given me experiences that impact me so deeply. Art has made me feel emotions nothing else has, and shake my worldview and core philosophies to shape me into who I am today. I aspire to be able to create art like that. I want to create art that captures and expresses a feeling or emotion that no description of a feeling could. I want to make art that sticks with people and impacts others. I like finding art from other artists attempting to do the same, regardless of their popularity or other metrics that people would often associate with being a good artist, in quotes. I want to experience and express, and connecting those who express their own experiences and want to experience my own expressions is why community matters so much to me. Question 4. You put a large emphasis on the experiences of art in your previous answers. From my own experience with you, I know that both you and I have a particular interest in the existential philosophy of subjective experience and qualia. So as a matter of curiosity, I'm going to test you with an open-ended question to see where it takes your mind. What is the value of subjective experience in a potentially objective reality? Azzy answers, we don't have anything without our experiences. We weren't conscious before we were born, and likely won't be after. I don't like the idea of debating people on what happens after death. Anyone's free to believe what they want, especially if it brings them comfort, but that's the idea I personally subscribe to, and frankly, I find comfort in it. Immortality in any form is a fate worse than death to me. I find comfort in the end of an experience because our experiences, being finite and limited, is what makes them special. We're a mass of atoms that somehow knows it's a mass comprised of atoms, and that's insane to me. We may just be part of the universe, but we are the universe experiencing itself, in a sense. For an infinitesimal moment in the timeline of the universe, experiences will be had through the lens in which I perceive them. So I want to make the most of that. The sky being blue doesn't matter if nobody's around to see it, and the sky is even more special when blue gets to be someone's favorite color. I want to be able to find the beauty in everything, and make the most of my experiences at the end of the day. Question 5. You mentioned being interested in technical art, particularly for game development, in part due to the intersection of many technical and artistic fields coming together to produce something more than the sum of its many parts, as you put it. As you have described yourself as openly queer and neurodivergent, does your attraction to the intersection of fields like technology and art have any relation to the conflict between the image imposed on you by society and your sense of inner self? I ask this because I found that many neurodivergent and/or queer individuals have a natural inclination to see the world as dynamic rather than simple layers of polar or absolutist constructs, thus providing an intuition to make discoveries in the space between definitions. So does this relate to you? Is your quest to explore intersections of interests a reflection of the structure of you, a structure of Azzy, more than the sum of its many parts? Azzy answers, yeah, I think the world is incredibly dynamic, and I often don't clearly fit into many socially constructed categories or roles that are imposed on most people. I think people should be more open to breaking conventions and questioning why things exist as they do. Comfort and shame stifle progress, so by challenging uncomfortable truths and experiences, we may learn more about ourselves or others. My favorite art has been the kind of art that breaks conventions. I like experimental and weird, surreal, artsy things. Not enough people relish in pretension, and being more experimental and expressive with my own art is something I want to get better at, because the expressive and experimental art of other artists is deeply inspirational and important to me. I think my interest in the technical side of things stems from neurodivergence as well. Unique problem solving and clever or elegant solutions to previously unsolved problems have always been fascinating to me. I love math. I think it's the language in which we understand the universe. So many things can be represented with mathematical ideas, and that's the reason we have the tools we have today, to create new art and experiences and technology. Art will always exist, and people will always make art, but new tools and mediums give us new ways to explore art. Two of my favorite games are Outer Wilds and Beginner's Guide, both of which I think use game development as a medium for artistic expression excellently. I was drawn to game dev because it was this sort of ultimate mixed media, a combination of artistic and technical disciplines. While many fields within game dev lean more into the artistic or technical sides, tech art manages to stay right in the middle. Math and art are inseparable in technical art, and that makes it beautiful to me. I think these interests and chosen experiences are greater than the sum of their parts in the philosophy I like to live by. If you imagine a wave crashing on a beach, then for a brief moment, those particles that were once scattered amongst the sea get to come together to be something beautiful. A wave is something that someone takes a photo of, or paint a painting of, or write a poem of, capturing some amount of that experience while the particles the wave is comprised of disperse and scatter back into the ocean irreversibly. That collection of particles never forming what they once were ever again. I want to be both sides of that coin. I want to be the kind of person to find that beauty in something as simple as a wave that will never be seen again crashing on a beach. But I also want to be the wave. I want to be greater than the sum of my parts before my particles inevitably disperse amongst the cosmos once more. I want my experiences to be more than just a moment of consciousness in the timeline of the universe. I want those experiences to mean something more, even if just to me. So I'll paint a picture of myself, how I feel, how I experience things, or write a poem of myself, what's important to me, what life and death mean to me. As those particles form a wave that crashes on a beach for a brief moment, I will be something far more beautiful than a collection of atoms. I'll be something uniquely me before my atoms scatter away in my death. Question 6. I've asked a similar question to other participants before, but since creativity is both a source of income and a means of personal expression for you, do you ever find the stress of work inhibiting your personal enjoyment of art in your free time? Or are you good at compartmentalizing the experiences? As he answers, yes, trying to make a living from my creative endeavors can be stressful. Ideally, I like to be able to make the art I want to make on my own schedule. But of course, this world is built in such a way where I need to do more than that to live. I recognize that I have at least gained skills and passions that are uniquely helpful to people, and I greatly prefer working in creative industries alongside and under other creative people who better understand that sentiment about creating art. Working in a new environment in a different way is a new experience anyway, so I also gain something from it that I wouldn't have without it. I get to learn and experience new things by working in different environments for different roles on larger scale projects with several people. And that's still valuable to me, but it is fundamentally different from when I create art on my own. These are two far more vastly different experiences for me, and I certainly prefer one over the other. That concludes our interview with Azzy. Parasocial Therapy is made possible by my patrons. If you want to support this project, you can sign up at patreon.com/CurtisHolt. You can find more information on my website at curtisholt.online. Thank you for listening and have a great day.